Hey guys, Chicago injury lawyer Scott DeSalvo here, and in today's video the topic is my injury that I have from my injury case isn't healing. What should I do? So I talked to a guy who had this exact situation. He called me up and he said, my injury from my injury case isn't healing. What should I do? Well, in his circumstance, and this happens a lot, he was treating with a doctor who was just a general family doctor, who referred him to a specialist doctor who isn't that familiar with injury cases. So, it was a situation where he's seeing the doctor. The doctors are not really paying attention to the injury that much, and especially in medicine, there are doctors who will give you treatment, and then once they give you the treatment, they sort of become skeptical of you if you are still having complaints, especially if there's an injury case involved. And it's not hard to figure out why. It's not hard to figure out what that's about. It's very simple to figure out. The doctors, just like a jury or just like a judge, will become skeptical if you're claiming that you're not getting better after the standard treatment for whatever the injury is, right? So if it's a neck sprain, what they do is they give you 6 to 8 to 12 weeks of therapy, maybe a little bit longer if it's slow to heal, and then their expectation is that you'll be better. Well, in the case of a neck injury, they can give you an MRI or an X-ray to see whether there's something more going on. But it happens a lot in the injury business that a person won't have a clear finding of a broken bone on an X-ray or a herniated disc on an MRI, but the person still has pain. Okay, so here's what I suggest you do. First, make sure you're working with a lawyer who will go all the way for you. There are a lot of lawyers out there, especially with the financial pinch that the illness with the lockdowns and everything. The volume of cases have gone way down. It's become a more competitive market. Lawyers are inclined to want to wrap cases up quickly, and in fact, they're encouraged by their clients to wrap the cases up quickly. But it's a big mistake to wrap up a case unless you know the full extent of your injury. Why? Because if you have a neck sprain that goes away after 3 months or 6 months, that's a case with a lower value than somebody who has permanent neck pain for the rest of their life. And if you are in a situation like that, you have to work with a lawyer who understands that situation and understands that the lawyer's got to be patient and make sure they prove all of your injuries to give you maximum recovery, right? But on the medical end of it, you have to work with doctors who believe in you and trust you, okay? So if you feel like your doctors are skeptical, if you feel like your doctors don't believe that these problems are going on, or if you have doctors who don't want to see you anymore, then it's time to look for new doctors. But before you do that, make an appointment and talk to your doctor and say, listen, I don't care about my injury case, I care about my neck getting better, okay? Or whatever body part it is. Explain to them how it feels, how the therapy or treatment helped you or failed to help you, and then just ask them for what your options are. Now, for an injury that just isn't healing, that can mean a lot of different things, but if it's the kind of injury that just you don't have complete relief from symptoms, they can do things like send you to a pain management doctor who can give you home exercises and possibly medical devices or medication to help you manage the pain in case it ends up being permanent. Now, there's another kind of permanent injury, or an injury that doesn't heal, and that's a very serious kind of injury, and it usually is associated with infection. So you can break a bone or have a cut wound to your body, usually to the extremities, like your fingers or your feet, where the blood supply isn't that, not very much. There's way more blood in the middle of your body than out at the ends, right? And so the less blood supply, the longer and harder it is for a part of the body to heal, but it also is a great place for infections. So if you have that kind of injury, you need to definitely call your doctor immediately. If your doctor isn't taking it seriously, get into another doctor, because in a fracture that isn't healing, that can end up being a very serious permanent injury, and you might need a bone stimulator or something along those lines, or they may actually go in and do surgery to try and rejoin the bones and reset the healing process. But if it's an infection case, these days infections are very seriously. Did you know that more people died in the Civil War from infection than any other cause? Number one cause. And of course that was back before we had penicillin, but you know, the infections that you can get in or out of a hospital these days are much stronger, and some of them are pretty resistant to you know, they're pretty resistant to antibiotics and stuff like that. So if you have an infection, or your wound area is swelling and it feels hot, drop what you're doing and get to the doctor immediately. And if your doctor doesn't take it seriously, go to the emergency room. So that is my advice. I mean, I always tell people, you might have a chance to sue somebody multiple times in your life, but you get one body in one life. You get one spin of the wheel. And that's why I always tell people after an injury, get in to see a doctor, because there's no medical condition that improves by a delay of diagnosis and a delay of treatment. Whether it's cancer treatment or a sore neck and back or a broken arm, the faster you get into a doctor, the faster you get better, the better medical outcome you get, and the, you know, better your life returns to normal. So that's all I've got for you in this video. I hope that answers your question on what to do if you're not healing, you're not feeling better. If you or a loved one needs an attorney, wants a free consultation, you can always reach me at 312-500-4500. I have great tools on my website. I'll leave the links in the description. There's great free tools. One is called the Case Cash Calculator. It tells you what your case might be worth, settlement value. I have the Do I Have a Good Case Calculator. Same thing on the website. Takes just a few seconds to do. Gives you really great information. No obligation, completely free. Finally, if you enjoy the videos, please like the video and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when I release a new video. And finally, if you wouldn't mind me doing a great favor for me, I'd really appreciate it. It takes about 5 seconds. I'll leave a link in the description. If you wouldn't mind leaving me a 5-star review on Google, it would really help my law practice out. And 5 seconds for you, but invaluable help for me and my firm. So thanks for watching. Have a great day and take care.